15 minutes,
please. 15 minutes. Places in 12 minutes. A reminder, tomorrow afternoon's matinee is The Miser. Tomorrow night's performance is The Three Sisters.
Stand by, please. Stand by.
Take your house lights to half.
My lord, there are the plays. You are welcome, masters. Welcome all. I'm glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friends.
Just alone.
Oh, my old friend. Why, thy face is balanced since I saw thee last. Comes that of beard me in Denmark. Masters, you're all welcome. We'll lean to it like French falconers. We'll fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not above once. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout of it, especially where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast... No, it is not so. It begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus...
He whose sable arms...
He whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the night resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal. Head to foot now is he total guiled, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and impasted with the parching streets that lend a tyrannous and a damned light to their lord's murder. Roasted in wrath and thus o'ercised with coagulates, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus old grandsire Priam seeks.
Life magazine called it a miracle. Newsweek magazine said it was conceivably the most important theater opening of the generation. The New York Times called it a cause for celebration. This is the Tyrone Guthrie Theater. This is the home of the Minnesota Theater Company, the group of professional actors from all over America who have gathered here to meet the challenge of performing the great classic plays in repertory. And this is their artistic director, the best-known director in the English-speaking world, Sir Tyrone Guthrie.
We have another tour today. Come over here and sit down on the steps. We'll answer any questions you might have. Welcome to the Guthrie Theater.
We'd like to know, sir, are you doing this as sport or is this actual preparation for a play?
Oh, the fencing, you mean?
Yes, sir.
No, we were just getting our exercise. You know, it may to you, but acting is hard work. See, we're all members of the regular acting company, and we play 8 performances of 4 different plays a week. And if we don't stay in shape, we might not make it through Wednesday evening.
I've always heard this referred to as a repertory theater, but I don't really understand what repertory means.
Let's say that all of us in the room were actors and that we learned and rehearsed 4 different plays at the same time. Now, that would be our repertoire. Now, if we played those plays in rotation, we'd be a repertory company. And that's what the Minnesota Theater Company does here at the Guthrie Theater. Now, let me explain what that means. Let's take Joan Van Ark here. Let's say that this evening the company was to give a performance of The Miser by Molière. Well, in that play, Joan plays the part of a young 17th century girl named Mary Ann. And in that same play, Ken Ruda plays an old scoundrel of a moneylender named Master Simon. That's tonight. But in Death of a Salesman, Ken plays a completely different kind of part. A bookish high school boy who lives next door to the Lomans. While Joan is now playing a very different kind of girl from Mary Ann. But in Hamlet, suddenly she becomes a lady of the court at Elsinore in Denmark. While on the ramparts, Ken Ruda stalks as the ghost of Hamlet's father. So you see, Ken plays three widely different parts, like Joan and the rest of us. Very interesting for an audience to watch and very exciting for an actor to do. Now, do I have another question?
The Guthrie Theater has received a lot of publicity. How is it that such an important development came to be in Minnesota in the first place?
Well, why don't we let Oliver Ray answer that one?
Well, there are several reasons, actually. The first being, in an attempt to decentralize American theater, we thought we should start in the heartland of this country. Then we wanted to be in a city with a fine university, such as the University of Minnesota, with its dramatic department of renown. And finally, I guess I just have to say that the people of Minnesota wanted this theater more than anybody else did.
Dr. Guthrie, all of us here, as many other people we've talked to in Minnesota, very much want to have this kind of theater that you and Peter Zeisler and Oliver Ray have outlined to us. And we also realize that there are many other cities across the country that want it, but I think Minnesota is rather determined to get it.
Good. Well, that's the first step, being determined to get it.
You know, we've already looked into the feasibility of using one of the existing theater buildings here in the Twin Cities.
But they simply cannot be remodeled to do the job for you.
Yes, they are a little bit conventional, but the thing is, does anybody know how much it would cost to build a completely new theater?
We estimate the rather unusual kind of theater you want will cost at least $1,300,000.
But we're also told that the T.B. Walker Foundation is considering adding a new auditorium to the Walker Arts Center. And it's just possible that they might join with us in this new theater project.
These were some of the people dedicated to bringing the theater Dr. Guthrie proposed to Minnesota. And when these men made a proposal to the T.B. Walker Foundation, they responded with a gift of adjacent land and $400,000. A gift later increased by another $100,000. But that was just the beginning of enthusiastic response. They found a lot more people were interested, too. There were women who volunteered to type letters, to stuff envelopes, to answer phones. There were men who made calls and presentations. There were companies who created ads and companies who ran them as a public service. Companies who donated time, money, and materials. And there were people who traveled from one end of the state to the other, spreading the word. The fund drive was rolling, and well enough that on May 30th, 1960, Oliver Ray and Peter Zeisler could announce that Minneapolis had been selected as a location for their theater, and serious work could begin on the plans for the building. But the battle was not won. For during the designing stage, it became evident that Minnesota would have to raise not $1,300,000, but $2.25 million. And they did. Contributions continued to roll in from all over the state, from big companies and little ones, from individuals and foundations, and from a Sunday school class in the town of Mankato, Minnesota, the sum of $6.37. And so the money was raised, and construction began. The first step, the creation of a suitable theater, was underway. But now there were other problems for the steering committee to tackle. Well, gentlemen, the first thing on the agenda of the Minnesota Theater Company is a report from Peter Zeisler. Peter, would you start us out?
I've got some good news. Douglas Campbell, who's been at the Stratford Shakespeare Festival in Ontario every year of its existence, has agreed to come here to be the assistant artistic director.
Oh,
Good.
But now we've got a problem. And that is, in order to start workshops here that will ultimately be able to make all our costumes and our props and our sets, I think we're going to have to import people, both from New York and from the continent, to train people locally here in the making of these things.
Peter, that sounds like the ideal arrangement, but are you sure that you can get the people that you need to make those things?
You mean this cup was actually made right here in the theater?
Almost every prop and every piece of furniture and every costume you see on our stage is made right here. This is our scene shop. It's equipped with every tool and piece of machinery necessary to make anything from a chair to a cup. Suppose you need armor for a group of soldiers. The property master might make a mold from the designer sketches, and then he'd cast the armor with celastic. Then he'd paint it and gild it until you could hardly tell it wasn't real from 3 feet away. In the costume department, as well as with properties, everything starts with sketches by Tanya Moiseyevich. Then the costumers and cutters and seamstresses go to work. All working to catch the spirit and color and mood of the original sketch in a costume for the production. They do quite well, don't you think?
Yeah. Gee, how did they know they could sell enough tickets to pay for all this?
Well, as a matter of fact, they didn't know that they could, but they set out to sell all that was humanly possible.
We've set out to sell as many season tickets as is possible, so we're creating an organization of volunteer women to be known as the stagehands. And their job will be to spread the word about this theater in every conceivable way. We'd like to recruit as many of you as we can. So how many of you think you'd like to sign up?
Sounds exciting, but how much time is it going to take?
I think during the season ticket campaign in January and February, we might be working, 2 or 3 days a week. But after that, perhaps an hour a week.
The Guthrie Theater had found a rich vein of support again. Women joined the stagehands by the score, then recruited others until they numbered more than 1,000 across Minnesota. And on a bitter January Sunday, they turned out in full force to sit on the cold concrete of the unfinished theater to hear from members of the company and music man Robert Preston and to get their final instructions. And then they went to work. They held coffee parties and dinner parties. They telephoned and wrote letters and made speeches. And the orders began to come in. And the tickets began to go out. 22,000 season orders. 88,000 tickets before the first season began.
We have orders from all over the Midwest and almost every state of the Union.
We have orders from lots of married couples. I wonder if the younger people will come.
Dr. Guthrie? Yes. This is one of the high school classes that came to our student performances. Now they're back for a tour of the theater.
You're very welcome.
And we're coming back to see another of the plays, too.
Dr. Guthrie, we were wondering why you and all these other people thought it so important to have a theater like this.
It's simple. Great plays, the ones we call classics, are really splendidly exciting entertainment when they're well performed, not the desperate bore they seem to be when you have to study them in school. And plays are meant to be acted, not dissected in a classroom. Just as a community needs a public library where great books are available, or an art museum where you can see great pictures, or a symphony orchestra where you can hear great music, so you need a theater where great plays can be brought to life.
You do but dally. I pray you pass with your best violence. I'm a fish maker once in the
Say you so, come on.
Rosine, had I been a woman, I shouldn't have cared for young men.
I should think not, indeed. Where's the attraction, I should like to know?
Can't see any? Don't understand why some women fall so madly in love with them.
Insanity. You can't call these young sparks men who could take any interest in such animals.
I've always said it, with their milk-soft voices. No spirit, fainting all over the place.
What are they compared with men of your stamp? Here's a man. Here's something worth looking at. This is a style of figure and dress to inspire true love.
You don't think I'm so bad looking then, eh?
Not so bad looking, you're ravishing. Your face would tempt an artist. Stand up a moment.
Huh?
Stand up. Turn round. Magnificent. Let me see you walk.
Anywhere?
Yes, anywhere. Walk. A well-knit figure. Why, I believe you could still dance. Yes, come on. Come on. Right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, Free and graceful, not a suspicion of infirmity anywhere.
Here's the handsome husband. It's time you got married.
A handsome husband.
Yes.
Natalia Ivanovna, we must find one for you, too.
Natalia Ivanovna already has a bow to her string.
Man was made for love alone.
They're at table already.
A table? Huh? Oh, sorry. Here, let me get a picture of you with the birthday flowers. Yeah. Oh, a little to your left. Up. Oh, bless you. Hold it.
Congratulations!
Bravo!
Here's wishing you everything in life you wish for yourself. What charming weather.
You're to blame.
And I'll take your
Smile.
Bravo, bravo. Gee, I haven't been here in years.
Oh, come on, sit down, Dad. Hey, you want a drink?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, let's get a load on, huh?
You look worried.
Well, no. Hey, scotches all around. Make it doubles.
Double, right.
You had a couple already, didn't you?
Oh, just a couple, yeah.
Well, what happened? Did everything go all right?
Oh, pal, I had an experience today.
Terrific, Pop. That's so? Well, what happened?
Well, now, I'm going to tell you everything from first to last. It's been a strange day. I had to wait quite a while for him.
Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver. All day, as a matter of cold fact, and a lot of instances. Facts, Pop. Facts about my life kept coming back to me. Who was it said I was a salesman for Oliver?
Well, you were.
Well, no, Dad. I was a shipping clerk.
Well, you...
I don't know whoever said it first. I was never a salesman for Bill Oliver.
What are you talking about?
Look, let's just hold it down to the facts tonight, huh? We're not going to get anywhere bulling around. I was a shipping clerk.
All right, now listen to me.
Look, why don't you let me finish?
I'm not interested in any stories about the past or any crap of that. The woods are burning, boys. There's a big going on all around. I was fired today.
How could you?
I was fired. And I'm looking for a little good news to tell your mother, because that woman has waited and that woman has suffered. The gist of it is, Biff, that I haven't got a story left in my head, so don't give me any lecture about facts or aspects. I'm not interested. Now, what do you got to tell me?
And now let us go and find your mother and tell her this happy news.